Welcome to the Disciple Hotline. You can call the hotline at 954-580-FUNK. And this week on the Disciple Hotline, nobody called. Nobody sent an email, or anything. So let's go to the next thing. The hotline segment sucked, didn't it? Welcome back to the show, my babies. I don't even know what we're doing next. As you can see here, I've got my BWJP Radio White Jesus Show hat. And like I've said on a previous show, if you'd like to get your own BWJP Radio hat, all you have to do is you go to Amazon.com and you want to search customizable hats. And really, you can put anything you want on them, like Number One Dad or something. Or you could put BWJP Radio White Jesus Show on it. Anyway, you customize it, and then you put it in your cart, and then Amazon will ship it out to you. That's how you get that hat. Put that thing backwards, feel a little bit more hip. This is the part of the show where we explain the origin of popular sayings. It's called Just Sayin'.
I'm just saying. Just saying, it's a saying.
And welcome to Just Saying. This week's saying is, laughter is the best medicine. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but do you know the origin of this saying? If you don't, you're in luck. I did a little research and a little bit of weed. And let me tell you the history of laughter is the best medication. Back in the day, in the very early evolution of medicine, there was a small settlement in the Old West. The town only had one doctor, Dr. Marty Tannen. Dr. Tannen was a bright enough guy, but as doctors go, kind of a doofus. Every time a patient came to see Dr. Tannen, he would hope and pray that he would find an on-off switch somewhere on their body and that it was turned off. So all he would have to do is turn it on. If somebody came in with a cut, he was able to stitch them up, only he would use yarn, like that you knit with. There was no anesthetic back then, so Dr. Tannen always had a huge bottle of whiskey in the office. But the better distraction was that Dr. Tannen happened to be the funniest man in town, and he would tell the patients jokes and stories while he performed his botched medical procedures. He would have them in stitches. Get it? As much as he was loved by the town as their doctor, he knew he needed to be a better doctor. It just wasn't fair to these poor townfolk that he stitched them up with yarn that he pulled out of his winter sweater. It wasn't fair that he didn't know where most of the human organs were located in the body, or that he thought the heart was located in the left thigh. So the doctor reached out to other doctors in other towns. He started corresponding with a doctor in a fairly new town named Dr. Biff McFly. He started learning a lot from Dr. McFly. They decided to meet in the town that was in between their two towns to talk about medicine. They finally met in that town's tavern and discussed doctor stuff. Dr. Tannen learned that he actually knew Dr. McFly's mother, whom he treated for a cut on her leg. Dr. McFly said to Dr. Tannen, "You're the one who mended my mother's leg?" Dr. Tannen looked down, embarrassed, and said, "Yes, sir, I did." Dr. McFly stared back. "You know, doctor, that wound got infected. Do you know why?" Dr. Tannen had no clue. "Why?" "Because you can't use a dirty shoelace to stitch up a wound. I had to amputate her leg," replied McFly. Dr. Tannen looked confused. What does amputate mean?" Dr. McFly sighed, then replied, It's when you have to cut off a body part, like a leg." Tannen was shocked. My God, that's gross. I can't believe you did that. Dr. McFly stared at the man across the table from him in disbelief. Dr. Tannen, how did you become the town's doctor? Tannen looked embarrassed and answered, well, out of all the men in town, I was able to catch a hog the fastest. McFly shouted, that is no way to choose a doctor, for God's sake. Dude, I caught it in 7 seconds, Tannen defended himself. Dr. McFly got real serious. Look, to be a doctor, you have to study... Wait, 7 seconds? That's pretty impressive. Anyway, to be a doctor, you have to study and practice medicine. What's medicine? Asked Dr. Tannen. McFly lowered and shook his head. He had to help this doofus out. Listen here, you know the people who come in and sweating and puking and die while they're pooping? Dr. McFly asked Tannen. Tannen nodded. Yeah, we get a bunch of those, just piles of bodies sometimes. McFly sighed once again and pulled a glass bottle out of his jacket. He told Tannen, what's happening to those folks is called a disease, and this is called medicine, and if you give it to those folks, they won't die. Tannen's eyes widened. Wow, medicine? Thanks, Doc. Dr. McFly gave Dr. Tannen some medicine to take back to his practice. Dr. Tannen left the tavern, but before he left, he gave the doctor a grateful look. Hey, McFly, say hi to your mom for me. Get it? But then he left before he could hear McFly's response. My mom's dead, you son of a bitch. Dr. Tannen returned to his town, and for everyone who came in with a disease, he would slip medicine in the bottle of whiskey he gave the patients, and he would tell them the funniest jokes that he was known for. The townspeople were surprised with the way his patients recovered, instead of dying like they usually did. One of the town folks named Emmett pulled Dr. Tannen aside one day and asked him if he was using that newfangled medicine he's been hearing about. Dr. Tannen thought before he replied. He was now a hero in town, the funniest dude in town, and now the best doctor around. Dr. Tannen looked Emmett right in the eye. I'll tell you a little secret, Emmett, but don't go telling no one. Laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. But Emmett was not a man to keep secrets, and he spread the word. Soon all the townfolk believed that Dr. Tannen was curing folks with laughter, and word spread around the dumb town where it became a popular saying. And to this very day, people still use it. Now, the simple truth is that laughter is not the best medication. Usually, actual medicine is the best medicine. But try telling that to Emmett and the people in that retarded little town in the Old West. And that was just saying. Laughter's the best medicine.
I'm just saying. Just saying, it's a saying.